Did Britain just blink on the world stage? In a shocking twist over Iran, Keir Starmer is facing claims of total humiliation, and the fallout could reshape global alliances overnight. Right now, the world is watching a dramatic diplomatic crisis unfold, and Britain is right at the centre of it. Sir Keir Starmer, a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is under intense international pressure and facing bitter criticism for his handling of the escalating conflict with Iran. What began as military strikes by the United States and Israel against Tehran has quickly pulled allies into a delicate geopolitical storm, and many critics now claim Starmer has been humiliated on the global stage. Let's break down what's happening. Over the weekend, the U.S. and Israel launched major airstrikes on Iranian military infrastructure after years of rising tensions over Iran's nuclear program and regional influence. The strikes reportedly killed Iran's supreme leader, setting off a fierce response from Tehran. Iran has since launched missiles and drones across the Middle East, targeting several nations and triggering the largest regional escalation in years. In the midst of this chaos, Starmer's government has taken a controversial line. Initially, he stated the UK was not involved in the US-Israeli strikes and claimed Britain would only participate in defensive operations, withdrawing from direct offensive action. But days later, Starmer U-turned by granting the United States permission to use British military bases to launch defensive strikes aimed at neutralizing Iranian missiles and launchers. That decision has ignited furious debate back home and abroad. For Starmer, this creates a diplomatic paradox. On one hand, he did not openly endorse America's initial offensive, insisting Britain needed to avoid deeper direct involvement. On the other hand, by allowing U.S. access to British bases, including strategic locations such as Cyprus, critics argue he effectively legitimized the U.S. campaign and undermined his own stance of restraint. Opposition figures in British politics haven't held back. Reform UK's deputy leader Richard Tice blasted Starmer, claiming the government has kowtowed to Islamist extremists and been humiliated on the international stage, insisting that this government's indecision has weakened the UK's relationships with its most important allies. Quelled confidence in British leadership, he says, might even push the United States to lose faith in the so-called special relationship. Across Europe, leaders have been cautious. France and Germany joined in statements urging Iran to halt its missile attacks and emphasizing defense cooperation. But many nations have stopped short of outright military backing. Starmer himself has been more focused on diplomacy and protecting British citizens in the region than on declaring solid support for offensive operations. Labour backbenchers and critics from inside his own party have also questioned how far Britain should be pulled into a conflict that could drag the entire West deeper into war. Meanwhile, Starmer has attempted to reassure the public that all actions are in line with international law and the defense of British interests. So the big question now, and the one commentators are asking around the world, is this: has Starmer managed to thread the needle between diplomacy and defense, or has he instead allowed Britain to be diplomatically embarrassed and strategically compromised? The answers may shape not just UK foreign policy, but the future of alliances across the globe.